Good morning. Hope you're having a great day. So this week's Torah portion of Toldot, we begin the story of Jacob and Esau, the twin brothers that are born. And Esau comes out first, and Jacob is holding on to his foot, onto his heel of his foot, trying to get out first. And then the rest of their life is full of rivalry. And one of the first stories that the Torah portion tells us about the brothers is the day came, Isaac had passed away, the Midrash tells us, and they were sitting Shiva. And Jacob made a red lentil soup as a form of mourning, because some people know in a Shiva home you have lentils, it represents a circle of life, or some people have bagels. So he made a red lentil soup. And Esau comes from the field and he's thirsty and hungry. He had just been hunting and fighting. And he's desperate for some red lentil soup. And he says to Jacob, "Give me your lentil soup. Sell it to me." And he makes a deal with Jacob. Jacob says, "You know what? Give me your firstborn right. I was holding on to your heel when I came out. I wanted to be the firstborn, because the firstborn came at that point with the rights of spirituality, of being able to serve in the holy temple later on." And Esau says, "Of course." And he sells him the firstborn right. He eats, he drinks, and as the verse finishes, Vayakam vayelech, he gets up and he leaves. Vayivez Esav Esabachora. Esav embarrasses and makes light of being the firstborn, which was, of course, the right to spirituality. But the question the rabbis ask is, why does it say he ate, he drank, he got up and he left, and then he embarrassed the first rightborn? It should have been he ate and he drank. Once he ate and he drank, he embarrassed it. What does it tell us first? Vayakam vayelech, then he got up and left. And the rabbis say something very powerful and interesting. You know, in life, we all sometimes make mistakes. We let our impulses get the better of us. And we do things that we later regret. And we do it because we're under duress, we're hungry, we're thirsty, we're in a moment of crisis, a moment of challenge. But sometimes it's not about what you do at the moment. It's how you respond to it. If you regret it or not. What Esau did was, not only did he sell the firstborn for a bowl of red lentil soup, but then he left. Vayivez. He embarrassed. He laughed at that. Who cares? What's the firstborn going to be? So I'll get some spirituality. So I'll get some holiness. Who needs that? I need materialism. And the rabbis say that was the biggest issue with what Esau did. Not that he sold his firstborn in the moment of temptation, but how he... And it's interesting because till today, Esau is called Edom. The progeny of Esau is called Edom, which means the red one, because one of the reasons is because the red lentil soup, because it reminds us of the difference of Jacob and Esau. Jacob did not what was on the moment impulsive and irrational because he wanted it, but he overcame his temptations and did what was right. And that's what he inherited to his children. You know, I keep on thinking about Reb Tzvi Kogan, Chabad rabbi who was murdered in Dubai, who left, his family left the youth of Moldova and returned to their Judaism, and leaving the comforts of New York to go live in Dubai. And when he lived in Dubai, he ran the kosher store. And in the kosher store, you know, they say the way to a Jew's heart is through their stomach. When people would come in to buy kosher, there's a viral video clip that's going around that I shared a couple of days ago on my Facebook. People would come in and he would teach them about Torah mitzvot, and if they had time, he would bring them to the back, wrap tefillin with them, do a mitzvah, do something positive, do something that would hopefully lead to another good deed. And in fact, the day that he was being buried in Israel, there were 3 boys that were named Tzvi. 2 of them were in Odessa. One was in his 40s and his 70s, who never had a bris, and they really wanted to join the covenant of Abraham. And when they named them and gave them a Hebrew name at the bris, they chose the name Tzvi to be able to continue the legacy of what Tzvi did, the warmth, the joy that he showed, the exuberance in doing another mitzvah and sharing that light with someone else. Years ago, in the 1970s, I think it was, at 60s, there was a terrible tragedy where terrorists came into Kfar Chabad, which is Chabad headquarters in Israel, and murdered 5 young people. And it was a terrible tragedy. And they wrote to the Rebbe How do we recover? Kfar Chabad was a young community just starting to build, and here were young kids killed. And a telegram came back from the Rebbe a few days later, and the answer was 3 words: Behemshech habinyan tenuchamu. With the continued building, that's how you will be comforted. And what the Rebbe said was that the only way to overcome this tragedy is by continuing to build, continuing to grow, continuing to do positive. You know, Esau, not only did he do something evil, but then he went on and laughed about it. But by the Jewish people, even in the moment of tragedy, we get up and we do something positive. We continue to choose life over death, building over destruction, joy over darkness. And in fact, just when he was buried, Rabbi Tzvi, the funeral took place in Kfar Chabad, at a replica of Chabad headquarters that is in Kfar Chabad, that was built at direction of the Rebbe. And today, the Chabad community in Kfar Chabad is tenfold of what it was then, if not more. And they continue to remember those words. Esau is Vayakam Vayelech. He got up. Not only did he follow his temptations, but he got up and he laughed at it afterwards. There were no regrets. By us, we take it the other way. Even in a time of tragedy, we get up and we continue to build and continue to move forward with positivity and with light. Have an awesome day and a great Thanksgiving.